to Speed Scene Live, the #1 online drag racing TV show and the only show dedicated to the sportsman racer. Brought to you by Curry Rear Ends, M&H Tires, Hedman Hustler Headers, Aeromotive Fuel Systems, and TheFote.com. With your hosts, Diana Might, Bruce Barker, Scott Lucky Hudson, Alex the Cargirl Rosio, Hot Rod Bob Beck, plus Dar Hawthorne and Donnie Couch.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Welcome once again to Speed Scene Live, broadcasting live and direct high atop the Speed Scene Studios in beautiful downtown North Hollywood, California.
There's never an answer as to why we aren't in the studios. We're always atop of them.
The studio. Of course, yes. Well, the weather's so fine here in Southern California.
Yeah.
Right? We have liquid sunshine today. It's kind of nice.
Is that what that is?
Yes, we're told. We don't know really what it is. We have to get a diagnostic report from somebody.
Yes.
But we are going to be broadcasting live, as you know, for a whole hour.
What?
Yes. We are going to be, and with us tonight, as always, and you heard him in the background, working the board, keeping his fingers limber, it's the lovely Bruce Barker.
You realize that as soon as the camera switches, this is the foreground, and you are in the background, Bob.
I am.
Yeah.
Well, and
just pointing out the obvious.
The obvious? What are you, Captain Obvious today?
Well, apparently.
Well, it must be.
It should be obvious.
We could be. Now, we've got a studio full of people today. We asked for a sportsman racer.
Yeah.
Well, we had a couple of volunteers. We got one that was actually local, and we allowed him to come in the studio. So he's with us. We're going to introduce you to him in just a little bit.
All right.
Why not right now? Joe Barton.
Well, Joe Barton. Speed Scene Live.
Speed Scene Live.
Good to be here.
It's about time we got you in here, Joe
I know,
Barton.
and he got a haircut for the show and everything. I mean, he's just great. Now, from KNX News Radio, CBS affiliate, is that correct?
That is correct, sir.
And we've got Randy Kerdoon. He is the sportsman, the sports announcer for KNX, and he has his own little show called Talking About Cars we'll be talking about.
That'll be fun. Yeah,
Yes.
it's a show that you could get all over the internet, and it's on the radio, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah, and I listen to KNX. It's one of the stations I listen to, and I've heard it on that, and then we've talked about it a few times, and I've gone onto your cloud, and we'll talk about that too.
That's right.
Yeah,
Can you,
well, we're not showing everything from the cloud, are we?
No.
Yeah,
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Because, that would be like lots of audio waves and stuff like that. But, hey, Bob,
Yes.
this will, I guess, prove whether or not you've been listening to KNX for years and years,
Yes.
and of course, viewers all over the world are going, what? Huh?
Yeah.
Although I'm sure KNX, of course, through the CBS portal can be listened to worldwide as well.
Right.
But can you sing the KNX jingle?
Heck no.
Oh. KNX 1070 News Radio.
Okay, that's it. Yeah, there we go.
Nicely done.
There
Good
we
night,
go.
folks.
And there goes the end of our talent.
Good
and
night,
our
everybody.
careers.
Thanks a lot for coming.
Yeah, it's been nice having you back again, and we'll be coming to you from someplace we don't know, but they're not going to let us back.
kicked out.
We're going to have a great show. We're going to talk about stuff, and let's start off with Randy. Joel, you're going to sit here for a bit because
No worries.
yeah, you can't get away.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that.
Right. You've been on KNX as the sports announcer there for umpteen years.
Umpteen, which, by the way, is the number between 11 and 12.
Okay.
So that, I've been there since about 1920. About 13 years ago. Yeah, 12 years ago.
And you're the award-winning sportscaster there.
You know what's fun is not only have I been able to win some sports stuff, and that's really cool.
Yeah.
I've been fortunate to win some sports awards. But over the last couple of years, I actually won stuff for doing car stuff, which is
really?
actually kind of neat. I've done stories about... there was an auctioneer who used to, a little 8-year-old kid, you may remember, who did some auctioneering at Barrett-Jackson. And I did an interview with him, and that won an award. And we also did some other things that have won awards from the... It's a wonderful award. It's basically instead of something though, there it is. There's the logo for talking about cars, which actually started only about 6-7 months ago. Mm-hmm. And I realized when we put talking about cars on Twitter that I've already have enough episodes for a talking about cars a day in June marathon, which we're doing right now. If you've never heard the show, you can go to the Talking About Cars page, TALKNING, TALKN about cars on Twitter, and we have all of our shows that are going to be there by the time the month of June is set up. So we just had one with John Craman of Mecum Auctions, Scott Hoke from Mecum Auctions, and do we have a moment to talk about quickly what it's all about?
Yes.
One of the things, because I come from a journalism background, and one of the things that always interests me about cars is I see so many great shows on TV, Velocity and the like. We don't really get a lot of journalism as to where people came from cars. Where did everybody has a car story. That's kind of our motto there. Everybody has a car story. Everybody on this show today, I could ask you guys 2 or 3 questions. What was your first car?
Yeah.
The car you had in high school?
Got it.
What do you have in your garage now? What did your parents drive? And people come up with some really great answers. And what's fun about it is we get a chance to talk to celebrities. We've talked to Jay Leno, John Schneider. We've talked to the guys from Wheeler Dealers, John Force we've talked to, Antron Brown. So just a lot of different people from a whole mix of sports and celebrities.
Whose first car was this?
Oh, gosh. Talking about car story, this is my car story. My first car was a hand-me-down from Mom, a 1964 Dodge sedan.
I almost thought you said a Hemi-down from Mom. That would have been something different.
That was way down from a Hemi-down.
Heavy.
This was actually a car that sat in our front yard. Dad said, if you can get it running, because it overheats every time you go around the corner. And he said, if you can figure it out, it's yours. Well, I dropped the pan, redid the transmission fluid and the filter, put it back on, drove it around. It was fine. Of course, they kind of got mad at me for getting it all over the garage floor. But that's just what happens when you're a high school kid.
Yep.
So
now explain the polka dots. Yeah.
This, my high school, El Camino Real High in Woodland Hills, had a car show. So you're supposed to bring your cars to a car show.
Okay.
I put mine under funny car. And did I win an award for my creativity?
Did you?
No.
Oh man!
But everybody seemed to like it aside from that, and we kind of had some fun. So that was my funny car.
Your funny car.
And that is one of the reasons. One of my classic cars that I have now is a 1964 Dodge with a 440.
And it's a beauty. We've got pictures of that coming up as well. And let's move over to Joe. Joe, you are the Sportsman Racer pick for the week, and you've been running. For how long? How long have you been racing?
Oh, I think we started racing in '87 with our Nova.
Okay.
Ran with that until '96, and I got an easy ride on Greg Baskerville's car. I drove that until 2000, and then started building my own. And then it's just been a 10-year long, strange trip since then.
Yeah, there's the chassis under destruction.
Yeah.
Where's the roll bar?
That's we were redoing the cage on it because it wasn't right to specs, so we had to fix it. And there we got the engine plant ready to go in.
Oh, I like those valve covers.
Thank you.
And injected tall stacks, old school.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's all old school. That's why I made it. And I've been around racing all my life, and I grew up around Half Moon Bay and Vacaville and all that. And those cars were the cars to have back then. So. We fabricated everything. Those are the seat tabs for the car.
Dang, I'm jealous.
Yeah, all right, so you run Andra open wheel right now.
Yes, I am. I'll run switch. I'll go up to NE3 probably next year.
Okay.
Just trying to shake all the bugs out of New Card Blues. Make sure everything's working with it, and make sure I'm within the rules and all that stuff, so I can step up with no problem. So.
All right. So right now you're running a small block Chevy. What size?
It's a 327. Actually, that's the block that was in my Nova that I used to race in the 80s.
Really?
Yeah. I just put different heads on it with the intake. There it is.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. And we ran, the best I got out of the car was 1250s with that block with 4-speed and an old 10-bolt rear end in it.
4-speed. So you were banging gears hard.
Yeah. No line lock or nothing. The old-fashioned back then, too.
Man, and you actually saved that motor that long.
Sure.
Yeah.
It worked just fine. Why not?
Yeah. You still have the car?
No, I sold the car to put the rear end together and the altered.
Oh, okay.
So.
Okay. But the name of your racing team
has always been Zero Budget Racing. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, what's the phrase, Joe? This was so cool. We had it on our marquee before the show for a while. Is it?
If we don't get it free or dirt cheap, we don't get it.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh man, I think that was another one too. You have to have money to have a budget.
That's right.
Yeah, there you go. right, now you run the ANRA series, the American Nostalgia Racing Association.
Yes, I do. Butch Hendrick, he's a great guy. He's got a great program going. You can't ask for much more. I mean, he's a racer's guy is what it is, and that's why it works out so well. Yeah,
he's kept ANRA going and revitalized it after 3 different owners over the years.
Yeah, he has. He went from, we started it with him, oh, God, gee, how long ago was that? 2000 and what?
Yeah, wasn't he still at LECR?
Yeah, we were running an LCR. Back then, I didn't have the car up and running, so I was doing volunteer work for him. Okay. I would work, I was liaison. I was on the scooter making sure everybody getting mad and yelling at me because they're not up and racing yet.
It's a shame your car doesn't get much bite.
Or gas mileage.
That's never been a problem with that car right there. A friend of mine named Eric Christensen, he says, the wife of my crew chief right there.
Ah, nice.
Yes,
nice.
Crew chief in pink shorts. He says that he'd never seen a car launch like that. He says it doesn't pull out of the lights; it goes straight up and then pulls out. And I have a problem redlining because it's such a quick compared to the Nova and the MV car, which all ran off basically idle or just dropped the clutch. Mm-hmm. This car here, when I got a 5,000 RPM, I just took my finger off the trans brake, and it just goes straight up and goes out. So it's just something I got used to.
Yeah, you get used to that.
Until I broke it last race.
Which brake?
Trans brake.
Oh,
so
that's
now
right.
I'm leaving off the handbrake.
Well, but you said your 60-foot times are better without the trans brake.
I can't believe it. They are. The car doesn't launch as hard, and then I got a 1.28 60-foot time.
1.2. That's a hard launch. That's pretty good.
Not bad for a little small block.
No, and you got the laundry out, and that's at Bakersfield, isn't it?
Oh yes, it's the only place we run. That's our crew. George Bliss on the right, and Stan Lucas on the sitting down there.
Okay.
Like I said, we're sitting between rounds. That was last race in April. We're sitting between rounds. That was like third round, waiting to go to the semis.
Oh, good.
So.
All right, well, back to Randy now. Randy, you've had a bunch of cars, and you're a car guy, too. You're very active with the Mopar Club.
Yeah, I belong to CPW, Chrysler Performance West. I do the emceeing work on their Spring Fling, the 2-day Spring Fling, which is always fun. Yep. And we're involved with the Fall Fling, and I host some shows similar to what you do, in a sense, in the area. I'm going to be hosting a show up in Camarillo in August, so the Fred Anderson show up there.
Oh,
I believe it is, yeah. And so that'll be kind of fun.
George.
And what?
George Barrett, you don't really realize
George
how
Barrett.
small he is.
This is the talking about cars thing, and I was thinking, gee, should I have George stand on something? Look at behind our picture right there.
Yeah.
This is one of George's offices in that place he has right on Riverside Drive.
Okay, yeah.
Where it has all the cars, if you've ever driven by it. He has the room we dreamed of having in high school. Yeah. Our toys are all over the place. Well, and Mom doesn't tell us to clean it up.
Oh, really? Yeah.
He has cars, model cars of everything he's been involved with, everything from Starsky and Hutch cars, which in a sense he wasn't involved with, but he has the TV toys.
Yeah.
He has the Batmobiles, the Green Hornet stuff. He's got every miniature that you've ever seen, the Munsters. Hardcastle and McCormick. Who remembers Hardcastle and McCormick?
I wanted one of those kit cars so bad.
That's right, that Coyote or whatever.
The Mirage body, but
Brian
it was
Keith show there with the.
Yeah, there you go. And right above George, in case you can't see it on your viewer right now, is Smokey and the Bandit, some stuff back there. And behind Randy is from the TV show Vegas, which was Robert Urich.
Right, Dantana, the whole thing. So he's got a great room, and we did the interview for talking about cars at that, and it's just amazing. And the great thing about George, he loves to talk about the TV cars, and he still has really valid ideas. He's 89 years old.
Wow.
And he's already talking about putting together a hot rod, which is typical George, but he wants to do it straight electric. A straight electric hot rod. And he has actual plans, and he also has a little poster and a picture of it. So it's pretty amazing.
It won't be this.
I know. This was you and your Polara at Irwindale one night.
Right. This was actually the day we started our first interviews for talking about cars at the TMPCC show.
Right.
They had a celebrity race there, and while I was there, I brought a little tape recorder and said, let's do some of this. It'll be fun. We could run it on CanX on weekends. Did about 10 interviews, combined it with some of the celebrities there, and one thing led to another, and I started putting them out as not only on CanX for 2-minute segments, but on SoundCloud.com/KNX1070. And it just took off from there. Mark Paul Gosselaar from Saved by the Bell, and most recently Franklin and Bash was our first interview. And it just took off from there.
And it was a great night. And TMPCC, the Television Motion Picture Car Club.
Right.
And they put on a great event coming up July 4th.
This is Phil Hewitt, formerly of KFWB, and Tommy Jackson, who was the former traffic person at KFWB, at KNX. And Tommy and I actually went to Pierce College together and ran the campus radio station, or at least were on the campus radio station at the same time. So they got us up there, and we actually got to drive in some of the cars that they run there.
Sweet.
Right, yeah, you went to LA Racing, and they were running late models.
Yeah, so that was kind of neat.
That's cool. Now, there you are right in front of one of the late model cars, and this is something that you had fun with and you can do at Irwindale.
You know what's really crazy, and you get in these things, you don't know really what to expect. You watch NASCAR guys climb in and out of these things easily. I'm 6'3", okay? I got in this thing, and I'm looking going, where's the mirrors? Where's the speedometer?
Yeah.
How do I know who's coming up behind me? And what it is they have little earpieces that you put in, and I'll be the first to tell you, although I know they mean well, you don't always hear over the din of the motor, there's somebody coming up around the side of you, move. So, you're basically going, okay, so I'm just kind of going to try and not crash into the wall and cost somebody a lot of money. And
especially yourself if you didn't have the insurance for the waiver.
Exactly. So that was a lot of fun. That's a great time.
All right, now you've been on KNX, you're doing your show, and I think, Bruce, we've got a clip of talking about cars that we can give you a sample of.
Yeah, and in fact, I'm going to stall you, Bob. How's that for not giving you a sample until we're ready for it?
I know. Yeah, well, you've always stalled me.
There you go.
But we're going to talk about now. I've listened to it. KNX is a local station here in the Los Angeles area, and I listen to it for the traffic reports and the news when I'm driving on the freeway.
Is that all you listen to it for, Bob?
And the sports.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks, Bob. I knew that was going to come
But it's only during the early hours because the guys in the afternoon aren't as exciting as the guy on in the mornings.
Here, who do I make the check out to? Bob Beck. Okay.
And it's just it's a good station, but you talk about cars. I listen to that on the weekends.
Oh, okay.
I haven't found that during the week. I'm not listening at the right hours during the week, but on the weekends I have heard it.
When I first started this, I wasn't exactly sure when to bring the new ones on. Yeah. So for some reason, and I think I did it about the time that the big Arizona car shows, the auctions there, I was going to go out there and get some more interviews. So we had one with the guys from Wheeler Dealers, and I figured, okay, let's just download it on a Wednesday. Because I'm going to be leaving Thursday for work, and I just figured that's what I'm going to do. So we downloaded it on, I believe, Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific, and then from that point on, it's been kind of like the time we download all the morning stuff.
Oh, okay.
The new shows.
But you can listen to them on radio. Now, you can also log on to KNX.com.
KNX 10. Well, it's CBSLA.com. And then you can listen to the radio station that way. You can go to the KNX page and you can listen to it there. Right. And it's also, or if you can't catch it on the weekends, you can go to SoundCloud.com/KNX1070 and all of the episodes are there. Right. And the initial ones were about 2 minutes long because at that time it didn't dawn on me I could go longer on the internet. Hey. And that is one, that's Mark Kriske from KTLA here in LA. He's the weatherman over there, and he hosted the show, the LAPD VTAC show at Woodland Hills, and got a chance to see Mark there. Mark is a big, as he explains on his show, he is a big car guy he's a big Mopar guy. He has a Dodge Challenger.
And here's a little bit of that show.
I just race part-time for fun.
Are you a Ford, Chevy, or Mopar man, or something else?
I'm a Chevy guy for the most part.
This is Lorenzo Lamas.
I like GM products.
Yeah, that's right.
What's in your garage?
A Porsche Cayenne.
Wait a minute.
Built by Chevy.
Channel 5 weather guy Mark Kriske came to L.A. from Canada, a big fan of American muscle.
Absolutely. That's when I arrived in the U.S. with a Firebird. In my garage, though, right now, Mopar all the way. I got a Dodge Challenger.
Awesome.
Yeah, 2012. My very first car ever in life was a 1972 Dodge Challenger, and I just wish I still had that now. Boy, they're selling for $80,000, $90,000. Every time they ask me out here, last time I was here was in 2011, you get behind the wheel and you just get that love for the speed, and it's a rush and a half, and it goes by.
You know what you've done, Randy, and this is probably a cue that a lot of podcasters can take up on, is the fact that it's so important to produce a piece.
Right.
And what that means is just, have the elements that bridge, maybe from two different interviews, like you had Lorenzo Lamas and Mark Kriske. And, it makes it so much more pro. And, a lot of people are into the audio delivery methods and systems and stories and whatnot now. But that's a step that makes your show sound great.
And thank you. I appreciate that. And one of the fun things is we get to use music, let's say, that's associated. We started this show, that particular one, with Lorenzo Lamas's theme song to one of the shows he was on. And we ran some of that. The funny thing is, Lorenzo and Mark were actually side by side at the time. So I was interviewing both. And, you throw in a few extra things to emphasize. And the produced piece is fun, and it's not that hard to do, really. You basically run a multi-track system and put it together. But I mean, if you've ever done any of this and worked with audio, it's just putting things together. It's like building a building. That's all it is. Building a pie. Building a layer cake.
There you go.
I can't get any more visionary for you.
I can't cook, so I'm with the building, but the cake part, not happening.
All right, so Randy, what's in your garage now?
What's in my garage now? Actually, I posted that on the Twitter page. You've heard of Jay Leno's garage?
Yes.
I have Randy Kerdoon's garage, and there's a picture of it on the Facebook page as well. And it's basically two cars crammed into a typical two-car garage. It's a little more crowded, but it has some cool stuff in it. The '64 Dodge you looked at earlier, I have that, and I have a 1957 Pontiac Custom Safari wagon. Now, if you don't know what that is, basically, General Motors around 55, 56, 57 built the Nomad for Chevrolet. In fact, it came out of the Corvette show car back in, 54, right?
Yeah, Waldorf, 53, Waldorf Astoria.
Okay, so they came out of that. They gave it to Chevrolet. Pontiac said, well, we want one of those. So they gave it to Pontiac because the body styles of Chevrolet and Pontiac at that time were pretty similar.
Yeah.
The engineering, don't even get me started on that. But the Chevrolet, they shared some body panels as well. So Chevrolets took off. Pontiacs, for some reason, really didn't. And in 1957, they only made 1,292 of them, I believe. That was it. Less than 1,300. And that's the picture right there. That's my lovely garage, where it's not exactly something I could squeeze a TV crew in.
Yeah, right.
But it works for me right now.
Yeah, and the first
until
car
I'm named a Tonight Show host.
There you go. Right. Yeah. Well, and I can be in the audience and wave.
Thank you.
Yeah, the first car I saw you with was that Pontiac. We were doing a show together up in Newbury Park.
Yeah.
And that's a cool machine. Then I saw the Dodge later when we were doing another show someplace else.
And it's fun to bring that stuff out. I also owned at one point a 1956 GMC truck. I love the Bulldog front end on it. I think, oh man, that was great.
Yep.
Although it's interesting, you talk about guys who love cars and get into it a little too much. And I love you Pontiac people out there because I'm one of you. But it's interesting when you take a GMC, which is basically, as Chevrolet trucks are to Chevrolet cars, GMC trucks are to Pontiacs. They have engines, Pontiac engines and the whole bit. The car I bought actually had a 350 Chevy in it. My Pontiac friends wouldn't talk to me for 3 months. Okay, but hey, I love the car.
Well, you do know what GMC stands for.
Go ahead.
Got more chrome.
That's true. Especially that year, 1955, 56, 57. That was great.
Yeah, they had that big engine turn dash. They had Pontiac engines.
Yeah, that's true.
Turbo Hydromatic instead of the Power Glide. They were a little bit different back then. They also had bigger sixes in the earlier days.
And one of the questions I always ask on talking about cars is, what car that you had you'd love to get back one day?
Yeah.
Yes.
I wouldn't mind getting that back one day.
Yeah.
Not now, but one day.
Yeah, one day. Those are cool. All right, Joe, switching over to you now.
Sure.
You've been racing that Roadster. You raced the Nova. Right now, your daily driver's a HHR.
Same like you.
So well, not quite the same, but
I can't afford premium gas every day.
That's what makes it different.
That and another 100 horsepower.
That too.
How'd you get involved in racing in cars?
Well, I grew up around it. When I started, when I was a kid in San Francisco, the family I lived with was the Dutries. Robert and Ernie Dutry, and they were heavy hitters back in the day up there. And they would run all the Vacaville and Sacramento, Half Moon Bay, and they were just, that's how I grew up. I grew up at racetracks.
Okay.
And my mom was, she was part of it. She was a trophy girl for a while at Half Moon Bay. And so it was just part of my life. After we moved down here, I got out of it for a long time. And then when I got married, I was not quite married. We were engaged to my wife-to-be. I had that Nova, a friend of mine had, and he says, it scared him. I says, well, I got to have it. It turned out the reason why it scared him was because the front end was so out of the shape that at 100 miles an hour you let go and it kind of goes wee. So and then once I got the Nova, I told my wife, I said, I'd like to go racing again. This is the man that built my car. He's Dick Mosley, the nicest guy in the world as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. And his Fiat, he's a strict Ford guy. That's a Ford 351 with a C4 in it and a Ford 9-inch. And
how about that?
He just surprised himself and ran 886 in April with it. So now he's got to go to NE2 with it in a Ford.
Yeah. Now we were talking. My old my dragster chassis was built by him, and it's someplace else out in the after Ether Life now.
Yeah. It's still attractive, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, Tom Welsh is driving it now.
Right.
He finished it up and got it running, and he shows up at the Henry events occasionally. Dixie Welsh, his wife, used to run with the VRA and was one of the Nostalgia 1 champions for a while.
I remember that, yeah. So then after with Dick, he's put up with me for 10 years.
No, that's a long time to put up with you. I can understand that.
Well, you only see me once in a great while. He sees me about 3 times a week, so he puts up with me a lot.
Now, Joe, you don't do racing for a living. What do you do for a living?
Don't I what?
What do you do for a living?
I X-ray airplanes for a living.
X-ray airplanes?
I'm what you call an industrial radiographer.
Huh.
Okay.
That must be
it sounds
one
fancy,
large machine.
That must be.
The X-ray machine. It's like a doctor's machine. You come in and take a picture at the hospital.
Mm-hmm. And you ask the plane to stay still and don't get claustrophobic and
hold its
oxygen
levels.
Only they take pictures are like in seconds. Mine are like in minutes and 20 minutes. And
do you have to wear a lead jacket or something?
No.
Does it glow after you're done?
I got about 50 foot. I got about 50 foot of cable. I go walk away.
You walk away. Okay. Yeah. Now I saw you down at one time. You were down at Irwindale doing some special X-rays of what?
Oh darn that one! Now we got a phone call from the Drift guys. California Drift, I think it's called.
Yeah.
And apparently they thought someone was trying to circumvent the rules a little bit.
Okay.
So they had us come in and X-ray the door sills because apparently in their rule book you can't do any modification between the wheel wells. So they thought they were adding weight and they were doing something strange, but in my opinion they were putting weight someplace else. Because I deal with welds a lot, taking X-rays, and there were extra welds in that frame that didn't seem to be there, and different paint. So I was like, I think it's there, but not my business.
Lead-based paint.
They never found it. The guys and the guys they thought were, I don't want to say cheating, but they were who
stretching the rules.
Yeah, stretching the rules. Crashed their cars that night anyway, so I guess it really didn't matter.
Yeah, Formula Drift does events once a month at Irwindale. So, sometimes you can come out, it's drifting and drag racing. It's kind of like a park hopper. Right. You can come over and watch the drags, then walk across to the oval track and watch the drifting.
Yeah, drifting over California.
Yeah, that's right.
Little park hopper there. Hey, you know what, Bob? I know we got a couple of spot breaks we got to get out of the way. At least one of them, perhaps.
At least.
All right, here's the deal. Here's the drill. Here's the electric drill. We're going to be right back on Speed Scene Live.
I'm Robert Height, driver of the Auto Club Ford Mustang Funny Car, and you're watching Speed Scene Live.
M&H Tires, makers of racing tires that give you the best bite for the buck. You paid a lot for that horsepower. Make sure you use it all. M&H Tires has the best compounds available for maximum traction. Go to mandhtires.com. That's mandhtires.com. Buy direct and save at the website and mention the Speed Scene for a 5% discount. That's right, mnhtires.com. Call them at 661-324-4773. M&H Tires has tech guys ready to answer your questions or to recommend the best tire for you. Slicks or DOT. M&H Tires has it all. M&H were the first to create racing tires for muscle cars and also the first to create racing tires for sport compact cars. Legendary M&H Tires. Shop online, mention the Speed Scene, and save 5%. Get the best racing tires, great personal service, and save 5%. Go to MANDHtires.com or call them at 661-324-4773. MNHtires.com.
Welcome back to Speed Scene Live, the #1 online drag racing TV show. Brought to you by Curry Rear Ends, M&H Tires, Hedman Hustler Headers, Aeromotive Fuel Systems, and TheFote.com.
We are live. I'm still questioning the high top bit, but hey, we'll use it for now. Speed Scene Live Studios. I'm Bruce Barker. That's Hot Rod Bob Beck. It's an hour-long edition of the Great American Auto Scene with Joe Barton from Zero Budget Racing. There's Randy Kerdoon talking about cars. KNX 1070.
News radio.
Oh, we're all singing it now. Here we go.
Was that Joe?
Very
Did you
good,
finish
very
it?
good.
Yeah, Joe finished it off.
I'm proud of you, man.
Without prompting. I like
Wow.
that.
I do
that
listen
was-
to it quite often.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Well, me too. You know, every car I drive just has an AM radio. So
Yes, that's true.
Well, that does cut down your options. But let's see now. KNX is number 4 on the 5 buttons.
On the 4 of the 5, huh?
Yeah, because you know. It's,
What do you have? Why isn't it #1? Or do you do it? Directionally?
That's right, directionally. So it
yes.
starts at the low numbers
Right.
and proceeds. Yeah.
I
So
see.
and you're right. It would make more sense, I guess, to
It's easier on
To
us.
put it at #1.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
just
going to listen
saying.
to it. Come on.
or as they used to say, set it and lock. Rip the knob off.
Yeah, there we go. All right. Well, we've got a bunch of car guys in the office today, in the studio with us. And Joel, we got him here in his Roadster. And inspired by many other alters of days gone by, you're running a fuel-injected 327 because you had it.
I built it out of pictures from the old cars in the 60s.
Okay.
Like we did it for love and all that. Those websites and stuff. I went to there and I said, no, that's what I want.
Don
right there.
Newald's site.
And look
So
at that.
I
You go
just
black
told-
and white, and it looks just like it.
It does, yeah.
That's great. George Bliss took that picture last April, and I thought it was one of the best pictures I've seen in a long time.
That's cool. And all 4 wheels are on the ground?
I wasn't too sure who to have about the background, but
Designated driver, yeah. Not him, but designated driver. We can do this, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
But yeah, it
All
was.
right, so how quick is your car running right now?
It'll run in the 9s. It's not supposed to yet, so I don't have it certified. But I built it to run the 960 class for Andra.
Okay.
And it will run that. I accidentally made a 970 pass last April. But I had to catch the guy, didn't I?
Yeah, right.
I did.
I like that. Accidentally.
Accidentally, yeah. I didn't know it would run that quick, honest officer. I mean,
I do that. I do it in reverse. That's an accident. Doing that.
we can talk about people doing that on Thursday night drags at Irwindale. Ooh, R is not for race, honest guys, and it's not for right straight ahead either. We've seen a few guys do that. But anyway, now Joe, you got this going 327.
Mm-hmm.
It's all legal to run and right now you got to get the chassis certified.
Yep.
But right now you're running open wheel.
Open wheel. It's a lot of fun. I'm doing that to get the car out a little bit, make sure it's everything works like it's supposed to.
How long has the car been on the track?
This is the 5th race.
5th race. All right, so it's pretty recent.
Our next race in June 19th and 21st will be the 6th race for the car.
Okay.
So it's still pretty much there. I mean, I had a little bit of a problem the first time. The first race of April of last year, the torque converter kind of decided to go boom on the first pass. So it was a short weekend for me.
Okay, so at least you got it out of the way early.
It was all taken care of, and now we're back on and having fun with it. So
well, that's good. That's
I
the
mean,
important part.
I got friends that like to take their car apart between rounds and stuff like that. And when I was in last April, we went 4 rounds, went to the semifinals, and I put gas in it, sat down, have a water, and
Yeah.
There you
look
go.
at my friends and go, "What are you going to do?" Nothing. Sit down. You know, they go, I don't know what to do. I was working on a car. Well, not my car. You just get in, drive it. Okay, that's what you're supposed to do.
That's it. Yeah, go. You're there to race, not work on the car.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, you get a lot of guys that sit there. They wait till they get to the track. They start tuning and setting them up and go, no, you're supposed to be racing.
Well, that's what Friday night's for. I had a video of a friend of mine took last April on a Friday night. It was blue flames coming out. We turned the lights down a little bit. Got some really cool pictures. You know.
Yeah.
It wasn't quite nitromethane, but it was a lot of fun.
All right. Now speaking of nitromethane, what fuel are you running on your car?
We run methanol, alcohol.
Okay.
It's the
cooler running.
It's cheaper than race gas.
Yeah.
So, I get a lot of people look at the car and they're going, well, there's no freeze plugs in there. How come there's no freeze plugs? And I say, well, because I don't run water in it. How do you not run water? Well, alcohol runs cool, so you don't have to run water in the car.
Okay, so you're running no coolant in the car.
Nope.
And you're running standard oil pump tank.
Yeah, the whole bottom end is stock.
Stock.
It's got a stock steel crank in it. It's a 1969 large journal that came in for the 302s back in that year. It's a steel crank, and I did some speed seekers to the stock rods, so they'll go 7,000 RPM, and I'll go boom.
Yeah, and one thing about the 327s, though, they were not 4-bolt main either.
Well, that's why I have the 327 large journal crank. It's in a 4-bolt main 350 block.
Oh.
Nah.
So it's not a 327.
Sure it is. It's 320. Actually, it's 334 cubic inches.
Okay.
With a 4-bolt main.
4-bolt main, 350 block, 327 crank.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the benefit of Chevrolets.
It's all Chevrolet.
Yeah, I mean, everything fits.
You're right. It's got camel hump heads on it.
Okay.
And it's got the Hillborn injectors on it. The old school 1 11/16, I think it is.
Now you've been working on this car for how many years?
10 years to get this car on the track. It's a labor of love, though.
Okay, so almost as long as I've known you, you've been trying to put this car together.
Yeah, but like I said, zero budget racing. I don't have the money to put it. If I had a fistful of money, I could have it done in 6 weeks. But I got to buy this. I got to finagle that, and I got to, like I said, you heard it before. If I don't get it free, dirt cheap, we don't get it.
I'm listening to this.
Yeah.
All right.
I think I might have to make a donation here. I've got a couple of quarters here. Well, I don't know if this will help.
That's a half gallon.
You rub them together, they might make 3.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm feeling bad. I think you need some donations.
Yeah. All right, now let's go over to Randy. Randy, you've got the Pontiac, and a lot of people don't know about those Safaris, and you were telling me what size motor is in that?
Well, originally Pontiac always did something very interesting in those years because Chevrolet would stay with the basic 283 engine and keep it going on, and eventually they'd come up with a variation of 307, 327. Well, Pontiac every year from about 1955 on would start off. They had a 316 in 1956. It slips my mind what they had in 1955. But then they went to 347 in 1957. They had a 360 in 58. And then, come 59, they went with a 389, which stayed around for quite a long time, that Pontiac used the wide track stands in the engine. So that engine was around for a long time. The interesting thing I found out is when I rebuilt my engine, they measured it, and it was 316. So I'm trying to figure out how a 56 Pontiac engine got into my 57 Pontiac.
Look at the production date. Having worked for Generous Motors.
It was late 56. And in fact, 1292, and number of Pontiacs that were made. Mine's number 303.
Oh, yeah.
So it was early in the production run, and I'm wondering
leftover parts.
Somehow, well, wait a minute. There might be a place I can complain 61 years later.
Yeah, there you go.
Years later. Hey, I got the wrong engine. Do I get a refund for that?
Complain to a mark that doesn't exist now.
Yeah. How do you find parts for it? Well, I've got a 316 something else.
But that's fun, and one thing that was really cool is through a friend of mine in the Pontiac Club, the Safari people are part of the POCI, which is the Long Pontiac Club, Oakland, the Pontiac Club. Well, there is a sub-club, if you will, called this Custom Safari Club, which is nationwide, and that's kind of fun.
Okay. Yeah.
And in Southern California, we have, I would say that I've seen 8 to 9 57 Safaris that show up every year. At least 6 to 8 of them show up at the Wounded Warriors show down in Long Beach. that they put together down there, and one of the guys in the club, Mike Green, puts that together. It's a great show, and we always have like 6 or 7 of them. I wish we had 55, 56s there.
Yeah.
But we do get a bunch of 57s.
Well, I'm thinking 55, 56 was probably higher build numbers.
They were, although in my opinion, the 57 was the best looking one of all.
Yes.
But the sad part is Pontiac in 55, 56, 57, as opposed to the Nomad, they made the Pontiac the more luxurious car. It was the most expensive car you could get in 1957, except for about half a year in when they came up with the Bonneville fuel injected.
All right.
The convertible. So people would look at the Pontiac and go, well, wait a minute. This is really an expensive car for that era. And it only has 2 doors. What am I going to do with my kids? How do I do groceries? That kind of thing. And so it just didn't sell. That's one of the reasons it didn't sell all that well.
Yeah, it was personal luxury. One of the first personal luxury cars, I guess you could say.
It's funny how everything switches around. Now they're just highly prized because of that.
Well, and the amount of chrome on your car and the ornate trim on the dash.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to the re-chrome. I'm waiting until my daughter gets out of college for that one. But
that is going to be a college education there.
Yeah, it's not going to be happening anytime soon. But you know something? It looks great, and it's typical GM. Just huge grill on it. I mean, Buicks were known for that. You know, the Buicks and the Oldsmobiles of that era just had huge grills. So it's going to be interesting to see what it looks like when it's done.
All right, and then your Dodge we know is a 440. I've seen you drive that more so than the Pontiac.
I received that Dodge. I actually bought that Dodge about 1.5 years ago at Spring Fling. However, and this is something I think all car collectors go through, I bought an original, and I say original, I bought a 64 Polara, same design, hardtop, in 1999, and apparently it used to race, and I've had pictures of that. They used to race at Terminal Island down in Long Beach. Right. So it used to race there. Somebody turned it into a cruiser. I held on to it for a long time. Well, years go by, things need to be fixed and replaced, and I had a dilemma when I came across this other one at a show. I said, well, wait a minute. How much is it going to cost to fix this one to look like that? And as it turned out, my beautiful fiance is is very good when it comes to putting things in its proper perspective. She goes, all right, how much is that going to cost? How much is this going to cost? Which is the better deal? Well, it was no problem. All you had to do was, this, by the way, is one of my other favorite cars. This is at one of the Mecum auctions, 61 Pontiac. I had an uncle who had a 61 Bonneville 4-door. Love those cars. I had a neighbor as well in my neighborhood in Canoga Park at the time that did. So those are kind of cool. That's another car on my I want list one of these days. Bubble Top. This is the show right here. Yeah. This is the show, the Wounded Warrior show, with all the custom safaris there. So basically, the choice was made to go for that Polara, the newer one. Yeah. Take all the good stuff off it, put swap parts here, and then I sold the other one to Sweden. And that, by the way, is me live somewhere for KNX 1070 News Radio, giving away something. I'm not quite sure what
that radio station.
And those are the Wheeler Dealer guys. They came in. One of our best, most listened to, talking about cars podcasts ever. Actually, 3 of the 4, because we talked to them once together, and we talked about the origination of how did the Wheeler Dealers come about. The show's been on over 10 years. How did Mike meet Ed? And as it turned out, Mike started with somebody else, and it didn't work out so well, and eventually found Ed, who was making motorized sofas and furniture. And he was actually on the UK version of Top Gear doing this, and that's where he saw it. And then I talked to each of them alone to talk about how their first cars were and that kind of thing, and what they have in their garage now. And they're 3 of the top 4 most listened to talking about cars. And the marathon version, they're going to be on the marathon here in the next week.
Oh, that's going to be cool.
So if you haven't heard it.
All right. back to polka dots, and then now, what shows are you headed to coming up?
Shows as far as, car shows?
Car shows, yeah.
I have on my list, there's always some shows out here. My cousins live up in the Canyon Country area. So there's always the Route 66 show, which is always fun to go to.
That's coming up the 13th.
Right. The 4th of July show. of course, the CBS show that TMPCC puts together. I, alas and alack, did not get my name in, but that's okay. There's some other shows that are going to come in. I'll probably come by and visit. I think they're always neat to come by and visit. And you know what show I really would like to see someday?
What's that?
Is Pismo Beach. Yes. Has a neat show.
Yes,
and it's always Father's Day weekend. But I'm always with my daughter Father's Day weekend, but I don't know if I'm going to see her this weekend or this year. So if I'm not, I'm going to Pismo Beach. It's gonna be
they say 10,000 cars.
Oh yeah,
you almost have to. And then the cruising down the boulevard, they block off.
Well, my first radio job was in Pismo Beach.
Was it?
Huh. Yes, one of my first paying radio jobs was a DJ in Pismo Beach, and among the people that was a DJ there in his first job was a guy named Al Yankovic. And the funny thing about it is, we were dishing soft rock music, and none of us were allowed to ad-lib. We couldn't. We had to read off these little 8x10 index cards. We couldn't say anything. So imagine Weird Al going through life talking normal all the time.
No,
it just. I'm sorry. It just.
Yeah.
I don't think we lasted there very long, but that's all right. We have to start somewhere.
You got to start someplace.
Exactly.
That's a great place to start. All right, Joe.
Yeah.
You haven't been on the radio before, so
Never.
we can't talk about that. Your first race car.
First race car, my Nova.
Your Nova. Okay, so that's the one that we saw, the zero budget beige Nova.
Yep.
What was your second race car?
My second race car is this one I'm running right now.
Okay.
But I drove Gray Baskerville's car back in the 95 to 2000.
The MV automotive car.
Yes, sir.
That's a cool little yellow version of what you've got. What color are you going to be painting yours?
That was an all-steel touring car, but it's a little different. But
yeah, a little different. What color do you plan to paint yours?
I really haven't decided. Maybe silver. I was going to go blue, but there's so many blue race cars out there.
Yeah.
And, I like to be different, so.
Oh, yeah, you definitely do.
So I think maybe silver. I'm not sure. It's still up in the air. I've got a couple of guys who want to do it for me.
Yeah, if you paint it all blue like your fire suit, you'll look like one big...
A big clashing, I know.
Yeah.
We want to put you in the freezer and use you occasionally to keep things cold.
Yeah, that's right. There you go,
Yeah, look like one of those...
Mr. Frosty Freeze.
Keep cool blocks, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
But, I couldn't do any of this without, the help from my boss, for one, Jim Ellington from LA X-Ray. He supplies me with the trailer and truck so I can get it to the races.
Oh, that's cool.
So he even lets me use his quad. So without that, I do have a trailer. It's an open trailer. It's an old trailer, but it's
so that's basically he's one of your sponsors.
Yes, he is.
Anyone else besides your wife?
My wife, are you kidding me? She keeps us fed all weekend. She takes care of everybody out there. She's without her, we couldn't do it either. That's the old Carlsbad Raceway back there.
Yeah, way back.
I made it a couple passes where I blew the clutch up on that one. But,
we almost got the front wheels off.
They don't like 7,000 RPM.
I know.
Ooh.
No, ran one like that in what was called Super X. It was a 1290 heads-up index.
I ran hot rod with it.
Did you?
Yeah, it was just. I met a lot of good people that way. I'm still friends with them, as a matter of fact. And just because we're in a different class, I mean, you can't be friends still.
All right. So, what kind of car? All right, like Randy's asked, what kind of car would you like to have back?
Oh, gee, probably my '55 Chevy pickup truck.
Okay, so like Randy, he had the GMC version.
I had a 50. My '58 was probably my favorite, with the dual headlights and small window in the back.
Yeah.
I liked that one a lot. Had a 327 in it. And 350. It was a good truck.
So let's just follow suit here and say, what hot rod would you like to make? In other words, what would you like your next one? If anybody said to you, you can go out and get any classic car, turn it into a hot rod right now. Money.
59 wagon. Chevrolet wagon.
59 Chevy.
Really?
2-door or 4-door?
Yeah. It doesn't matter. Nowadays, I'll take what you can get.
Isn't my first thought isn't that kind of heavy?
Yeah, but you just drop it down, put a big motor in it, make a rumpy rump. Yeah.
And tow vehicle.
All right then.
That's right.
Big great vehicle.
It's heavy enough to pull a 5,000-pound trailer. I'm good.
I don't know. I don't think the car weighs 5,000 pounds.
Yeah. See, so that's good.
Okay.
Yeah. That could be interesting.
Well, it depends on the car.
Well, once you put the tools in, it's going to weigh a little
Big
more now.
brakes, yeah.
So, yeah, it can be all fun.
Big brakes so you can stop the trailer.
Anybody got a 59 Biscayne that you want to unload?
Long roof. I'm always a good long roof.
Or Nomad, 59 Nomad. Those are rare.
I was this last race we had, and I did so well. We've never done that well before, and it's just I was astounded. And my boss, one of the owners of the company, is Jerry Mattern, and he does Mattern Racing. They do a top alcohol race car, and they won their top alcohol last year in national and division. And so the guys are going, well, it's just because you hang out with us and we got our mojo's rubbing off on you. I says, well, just keep rubbing it off. I could use it.
All right, so you did well. How well did you do?
Well, we went to the semis. We're third in points so far. And hopefully I'm going to try and continue that next week and at the end of the race and keep going on. I've been talking to a couple of guys I race with out there, and we're bantering back and forth and saying, I'll see you in the final. You'll see the back of me in the final, but okay.
So how many more races do you have this year?
We're going to run the June race in Bakersfield, and then we're going to go do the Governor's Cup in Sacramento. Oh. Well, we're going to take that trip because I got family on Reno that have never seen me run before, so they're going to come down out of Reno to watch me race. So I'm going to make the forever trip up there, towing up there to get the race car up there. So, and then we have one more race in October for back in Bakersfield again for ANRA.
Okay, so you've got 2 races left for ANRA for the points.
Yes.
All right, so you're going to keep us informed as to how you do.
If I find a sponsor, maybe I'll do the August race too. But
so ANRA's got an August race too?
Yes, ANRA's got an August race in mid-August. Here we go again.
All right, what do you need for sponsor?
How much you need? I think I got $1.43. Bob, what do you got?
I don't know. We can figure it out.
Another $499 for that weekend might cut it.
Yeah. All right. I stopped at Costco and had one of those $1.49 burgers. And I think we got time for one more paying spot.
That's right. One more.
One more.
We'll be right back. Speed Scene Live.
Hey, this is Ron Capps. I listen to the Speed Scene every Tuesday night.
Take your vehicle's racing performance to an all-new level with a custom racing engine from Paul Williams Specialties. Put PWS's 30-plus years of experience to work on your race car, muscle car, any type of high-performance engine. PWS can build your winning combination from scratch or refresh and improve your current engine. Working on a project? Don't waste money through trial and error. Consult with Paul Williams first. Rev up your performance with Paul Williams Specialties, helping championship-level drivers become champions through better performance and reliability.
For over half a century, Curry rear-end components have been twisting out the torque and taking the punishment. And the new Curry lineup is stronger than ever. Some of the world's most capable, hardest-working vehicles depend on Curry gears, which is why you can too. Street cars, hot rods and resto rods, drag cars, rock-crawling four-wheel drive vehicles, whatever you're piloting, Curry expertise and rock-solid design means the parts will do their job, so you can do yours. Check out Curry's custom rear ends, featuring a full line of upgrades, components, and installation options. The Curry Crate rear ends lineup offers ultra-strong construction on third members and carrier assemblies. And other underside parts, like correct link steering systems, keep your four-wheeler pointed where you want it. Add in a wide variety of solid, purpose-built suspension and brake components, and you've got one tough, ready-to-go machine. Grab a hold of a Curry rear end. Talk to the experts at 714-367-2679 or view the complete line online at curryenterprises.com.
Everyone in the armed forces that has served to defend our great country and our freedom, all of us here in the United States of America would like to offer our sincere appreciation for all that you do and all that you've done. To every family that has made a sacrifice for us, we thank you.
60 years. That's a long time for a company to do any one thing. Doing it right while sticking to your founding values. Now that takes hard work and dedication. For 60 years, Hedman's all-American workforce has been devoted to manufacturing the very best headers any team of craftsmen can build. That's 60 years of cutting, 60 years of bending, 60 years of welding, more than 2 million in all, and every set made right here at home. At Hedman Headers, we build all-American horsepower, then back it up for life. Hedman Headers, made in the USA.
back to Speed Scene Live, the #1 online drag racing TV show. Brought to you by Curry Rear Ends, M&H Tires, Hedman Hustler Headers, Aeromotive Fuel Systems, and TheFote.com.
All right, good evening, everybody. I'm Hot Rod Bob Beck, and you've got gas on Speed Scene Live. We've had a whole hour of it tonight, almost. We've got about 5 minutes left, and we've got a few questions left for our guests, and any questions you've got, call us at 800-809-0802.
And by the way, I'll settle an issue. I think, yes. Randy, what Tom Moore, who called during the break, he was asking whether or not the little doo-doo, boop, 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 whatever tones, it's not the traffic report he was asking about on KNX 1070. It is, I think it was network tones, that it was breakaway tones that allowed very primitive early automation systems to recognize what to do next.
Right.
And they were audible tones.
Commercials.
Yeah.
Well,
to insert things or to go to the next thing.
But you're not supposed to hear that on the air usually.
You're right. You're not supposed to.
If you're hearing that on the air, we've got a problem.
We do. All right, Randy, we were talking. We were talking during the break. Who is it that you'd like to have on talking about cars?
Well, we've had an opportunity to get guys that are big. I mean, Jay Leno. Yeah. You get Jay Leno on the show. We've had Robert Patrick from Scorpion. We've had some really cool celebrity stars. And now I figure if you can get Jay Leno, or if I could get Jay Leno and John Schneider and really need people to talk, and they love talking about cars.
Yeah.
I'd love to get guys like, on my really want to get list, Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh, yeah.
Why not shoot for the moon?
There you go.
Tim Allen. He's a guy who would be really great. Richard Carpenter of the Carpenters.
Yeah, he's
big
got a great
in Thousand
collection.
Oaks. He's got a great collection. I don't know if you'd like to talk about how he got into cars, but I think that would be a lot of fun. Guys like that, guys with a good background. And now the twist. There was a TV news anchor here in Los Angeles for years named Paul Moyer.
Yes.
And I ran into him coming back from Barrett-Jackson once, and we got into a conversation at the airport about Mach 1 Mustangs.
Oh, yeah.
And I had a friend of mine who was looking for one, and we started talking. He's got a neat collection as well, and I think one day Paul, I haven't told you this yet, but I'm probably going to be calling anytime, and we'll get you on, and hopefully we'll get you to talk about some cars. That'd be kind of fun. So guys like that, it'd be kind of neat.
Now, who have you had on there that you really thought was great?
Well, the Wheeler Dealer guys were really good. John Force, always great conversation. John, you turn it on and go, so John, what's your first car? And then you basically leave.
Yeah.
And he was great, and he went on for a long time. He was really good. There are some really good guys that we've talked to. The people behind the Barrett-Jackson show. Craig Jackson was pretty good. The guys from Overhauling, Chris Jacobs, he was very good. Rick DeBrule from ABC Sports and Overhauling. I'm sorry, Barrett-Jackson. So there's a lot of interesting guys behind the scenes we've had a chance to talk to. Nathan Kress, a lot of you young guys would know about him. He's the kid from iCarly, and he is one of the best interviews I've had because he's very animated. He loves cars, and you can ask him a couple questions, and you could just feel it in his conversation that he loves doing what he's doing.
What do you know?
All right.
So,
Joe.
Yes.
What's coming for your car? What's new, and what are you going to try and change on your car?
Well, I'm just trying to put a shift light in it for one, so I can know when I'm shifting. That's a good thing. And we're going to repair the trans brake and new pair of slicks and a paint job and just a typical
partridge
stuff.
And a pear tree. Come Christmas time, you'll have all this stuff underneath the tree, right?
I keep trying to get my wife to do that, but she keeps saying no.
So you can't go out and buy her a set of chrome wheels for your car for Christmas.
Well, you could, but you need money for that. So
how big is your dog?
I got 5 grandkids and 2 great grandkids that they get Christmas is for the kids.
Oh yeah. All right, I think we are at the top of the hour.
Man, time goes quick.
Yeah, that's fun.
That was cool.
It's the darn car thing.
Yep.
Hey, Randy, good to have you in the studio.
Thank you.
Likewise, Joe Barton.
Great to be in here. Thanks a lot for having me.
Hey, let's check some websites and Facebook pages. Where can we find you on the web, Randy?
Well, talking about cars all over Twitter. There's an account there. There's on Facebook. It's on Instagram as well. Follow and like.
Yes.
Follow and like. Joe, where are you on the web?
I'm on Facebook on Joe Barton and also under Zero Budget Racing / West Coast.
Nice.
Yes, you'll find one. I keep everybody updated on that one.
Man.
Sounds good.
Hot Rod Bob, where are you this weekend?
This weekend, where am I? What day is this weekend? I don't know.
That's the show circuit, baby.
That's the show circuit. I'll look at my schedule when I get back to the house, but I know I've got shows Saturday and I think this is Route 66. We were talking about that earlier. Mm-hmm. It's Route 66 in Santa Clarita Valley. Route 66 Cafe. About 250 cars are going to show up. There'll be a live band as opposed to a dead one, and it's going to be fun. Good food at the Route 66 Cafe.
Nice. Mind-boggling.
Yes.
Hey, if you missed any of tonight's show, the encore presentation is coming up next, and thanks so much for joining us. We're back next week right here at Speed Scene Live.
Speed Scene Live TV, the #1 online motorsports TV show. Brought to you by Curry Racing Rear Ends, M&H Tires, Hedman Hustler Headers, Aeromotive Fuel Systems, and TheFoe.com.